Then again, you have those that win the lottery, like that lady in Woolkit. She works at Bob's Big M. Okay, Bob's Big M Shopping Center. There's another job that I would never do. Let's not get into that again. But I would never do that. Okay? And she is a fat, lazy slob when it comes right down to it. Okay? How do you justify that? Well, you can't justify it because she won it fair and square. She stuck $5 in the machine, and it gave her back $1 million.
Well, let me just say this, though. The lottery is a touchy subject. I thought about discussing that earlier, but you really can't because lottery is just that. It's a lottery. It's a chance. Everybody gambles, throws their money in. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. You can't really bitch about it. Is it pointless? Yeah, pretty much, because it's also an addiction. I mean, you're letting people just, you know...
If I'm going to piss money away like that, I'd rather go to the casino. At least it's fun at that point. You know, at least instead of, like, doing the pen thing, scratching in the bubbles, you can press a button and lose fucking $50. How much more fun is that?
Yeah. But, I mean, just where money's going is... Yes. I always try to keep track of...
Back to the point of where is the money? Who has the money?
The bottom line, I think, to me, is that it's not there.
The aliens.
Just the money isn't there. We have so many people not working. There's no revenue being generated anywhere because we don't have the workforce. Businesses are getting taxed like crazy. We're in an economic recession. Stimulus checks don't exist because there's no money to give them out anyway.
Well, and the funniest part about the government saying there's this big business problem with all these businesses folding, people getting laid off, there's this big unemployment problem, is the more businesses we lose, the more government taxes the existing businesses, the more businesses fold. It's just a cycle. That's all it is.
Well, and that's why trickle down doesn't work. You throw money into circulation, and the worst part is that it's not regulated. You can't regulate. A government cannot give out money and say you can only use it for this.
How about this? How about the government stops taxing us? Okay, I know you need the taxes for local agencies, police, fire, ambulance, basic things like that. Instead of taking all of our fucking money in taxes and the government just sitting and dwelling on it, why don't they make you pay a mandatory $100 a year per agency? Well,
that kind of gets into the whole local and state thing. I mean, the federal tax, I really don't know where that goes. Especially now, because this is something that gets me fired up. Social Security, that's the whole purpose of a federal tax. Social Security and retirement. We're not going to see that. We're not going to see any of that because it already got spent on 7-8 years worth of war that didn't accomplish anything. And I know most of you war folks out there are probably freaking out right now because I don't support the war. I have never seen the point. I mean, I'm all about defending.
Well, I think you should before you go on, you should clarify that you support the people that are fighting in the war, but you don't support the idea of the war itself.
I have military family. I have people who've served 3 tours over in Iraq, and I stand behind them 100%. And any family that's got people overseas. 2 of our fellow firefighters, CFD, they're actually in the Marine Corps right now. Who knows where they'll get shipped to? God bless them. Because I don't want to do it. I'm glad they think
2 are in the Marine Corps. 1's in the Army.
Yeah, I forget about him.
Yep.
But I'm glad that they, are up to doing it. I really don't care to do it.
But the war itself,
is
fucking stupid.
Built on faulty premises. But what I was saying about, the federal tax is completely ridiculous. I don't really see any need for it unless, they start actually telling us what they're spending our money on. State taxes, I'm all about those because that's what pays my EMT salary. That's what pays to have fire and EMS and police services. Things that you need.
Can I throw something out there in regards to the federal? Okay, for the federal, they're saying that this goes into the military efforts, whatnot. We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on this war. Okay, actually, that's what we've already spent. Hundreds of billions of dollars. Okay, we're not sending that money overseas. We're putting that in the war itself, which means the manufacturing of new products, the paying of new military people, personnel, which, they're not getting paid as it is to begin with. Yeah, they're getting some money, but the lies that the government is telling these people, we're going to pay you this, and this, then when they're discharged on injury or at the end of their term, they don't get half the money that they were promised. Am I correct?
Yeah.
But where I was going with that was the manufacturing of products. We've spent hundreds of millions on the manufacturing of new products, engineering new technology to do all these things. Isn't that going into American business? Isn't that where that money's going?
Yeah, pretty much.
So why isn't that being circulated?
Because to be honest with you, I really don't think. That also brings me to another point that I've always believed. The national deficit as a whole I've come to accept only because everybody talks about it, everybody, we do economic figures around it, so there has to be some basis to it, but I never really believed in it. I didn't really think that there was actually a deficit. The money's got to go. Got to come from somewhere. It's always in circulation. I don't know.
It's got to be somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. The aliens didn't come down and take all the fucking money. Okay, I'm pretty sure they use bottle caps like in Fallout 3. That's how they circulate their cash. They've always got it. That's all there is to it. But I guess
that's the best economic policy right now, folks. Drink heavily.
Drink
use
heavily.
The bottle caps.
There's no doubt about that. But I guess when it comes right down to it, debating that is no different than debating where did all the money for the fucking Enron Corporation go, or the fucking the oil suppliers. Where it's all American business. Once again, they're just. People are getting rich. We're not seeing any of it. That's basically it. So at any rate, I'm Zach. This is B.O.K.
How you doing?
And this is our something of a podcast. We're trying to make a podcast. We're trying to have fun. We need to hear from you.
I want to hear some different things, different ideas from people, stuff that's bothering you, things that you just want to talk about, things that you just want to hear us talk about. I'd like to call this podcast Outside the Box. So why don't we get on to our email, send us in some stuff. It's Yahoo. It's actually on the Yahoo Mail. MyDyingFealty, MyDyingFealty @yahoo.com. You can email us your thoughts, whatever you want to hear about, or you could just post a comment right here on YouTube. Either way, we'd like to hear from you.
Do it. Hope to hear from you soon.
In this era where DJs behave, we paid to be slaves. We raid airwaves to be sane.